Welcome! In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this Lemorele 9-in-1 USB-C hub multi-port adapter. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video when they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description on Amazon, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So here we have a diagram on the back. It says HDMI, USB data ×3, RJ45, SD, TF, USB-C, and PD. Let's get this opened up. Okay, so we have a bookmark here, we have some stickers, and here's the hub. Looks like it has a panda graphic on the backside. That's pretty cool. So let's go over everything this has. This connects to your computer using a USB Type-C plug, and then on the hub we have a PD port. That is for power delivery. So if you were to plug this into a computer that's powered by USB-C, like a MacBook or a Chromebook, you can plug your power adapter in here and it will pass power through the hub into your computer. So that's a really nice feature. Because of that, you can use this as sort of a dock. You can plug all of your accessories in here and plug this into your computer, and then when you're on the go you can unplug this and then take your computer with you, and then when you get back to your office, plug this in and it will mount everything back up. So this has USB Type-C data here. Now this is limited to 480 megabits per second or USB 2.0 speeds. It has an SD and a micro SD card slot. Now it says on the description that you can't use those at the same time, so you can only use one at a time. We have an Ethernet port on the end, and here we have 3 USB Type A ports, and we have an HDMI port. This does support 4K, but it's 4K 30 FPS, so that's something to keep in mind. So that would probably work great for doing presentations, or maybe you're throwing a movie up on a movie projector, but it might not be ideal if you want to do like 4K gaming or something, but I don't think this is really marketed towards that. Now this will support 1080p at 60 FPS though. So I'm going to hook this up to my computer and I'll test out some of these ports. So I'll be hooking this up to my Mac Mini with M1 processor. So this is actually hardware-wise very similar to the MacBook Pro and the MacBook Air with M1 processor. So this computer does have ports on it, unlike some of the laptops, but it doesn't have SD card slots, and it is limited on the number of ports you have. So if you have more things to plug into one of these, you can use this with the Mac Mini, but I think most people buying these will probably have a laptop. Okay, so I have all this hooked up right now, and right off the bat I had a situation where I needed this because I have a microphone I plugged into here, and I needed to plug in my keyboard and mouse. So I don't have any networking on here. I'll plug in Ethernet cable. Now there is Ethernet on here, but I'm going to test it anyway, obviously, because people with laptops may not have Ethernet. So I'll plug that in. If I go to my networking control panel, you'll see we have this USB 10, 100, 1000 LAN. So we have an IP address. We're all set up. Let me open up a speed test. So this is a speed test running on a server on my network, so we'll test the LAN speed. I'll hit start here. Okay. So we're hitting near gigabit speed. Now this is a gigabit Ethernet adapter, but rarely will you see exactly 1000. You're going to see something real close. Even if I use the internal adapter, I would get similar results. And this server could also have other things running on it, which can vary the speed. But you'll see here we're getting more or less gigabit speed out of it, so that's good. So we'll close that down. So next I'll plug in this USB flash drive. This is a Samsung Bar Plus USB 3.0 drive. Although this is only running at USB 2.0 speeds, I'll plug it in. There. I'll open up my speed test. I'll choose the drive. So here we're getting around 30 megabytes per second write and just under 40 megabytes per second read. Next I'll insert an SD card. So we want that label down. I'll select that. So this is an older card, so I don't expect it to be very fast at all. So we got around 11 megabytes per second write and 16.9 megabytes per second read. So I'll eject that, and this is that card. It's a SanDisk Ultra 16 gigabyte card. Next I have a Kingston Endurance card. It's 32 gigabytes. So we inserted that label side up. I'll run that test. So here we got around 26 megabytes per second write and 32 megabytes per second read. So the next thing I'll hook up here is a monitor, a second monitor. I'll plug that in on the HDMI port over here. So here we have dual displays. Now I may not have this configured correctly. You'll need to go into your settings so I can span between the two properly. Because right now it's probably, it's on the left side. So I'll just need to rearrange these. But you can see I have 2 monitors hooked up to this computer. And the Mac Mini and the MacBook Pro with M1 processor and the MacBook Air with M1 processor only support 1 extra display. So on the laptops you have the display that comes with it and an external. And with the Mac Mini you can do 2 displays. So those are a couple tests on the interfaces. You're going to get gigabit speeds out of the Ethernet here. You have USB 2.0 speeds speeds out of the USB ports. So that would work great for a keyboard, mouse. You can use a webcam on here easily, hook a printer into it, that's no problem. You can read and write flash drives here. You're not going to get as high a speed as if you use a native USB 3.0 port. So in my situation here, I can plug that directly into the computer, but if you're on a laptop, you may not have a USB 3.0 port. But if you do have one on the computer, you might want to use it if you need to read and write a lot. But it does work, it's just a little bit slower. So if you're just taking Word documents off of here, it's going to be plenty fast. If you're loading and unloading large movies or something, that'll be a little bit slower. You'll need to allow for more time there. And this also works with the micro and regular SD cards. So if this was plugged into a laptop right now, I could have my power coming into here and I could have it plugged into the laptop. It would supply power to the laptop and connect all my accessories. One thing to consider is that if you have drives mounted, like I have this drive here, you'll want to disconnect your drive on your computer, eject it, before you unplug this. And you want to eject every drive if you have SD cards and things like that. And then when you come back, you can plug this in and it will mount everything back up. You just need to eject it just as you would if this was in the computer itself. So that's the Lemorele 9-in-1 USB-C hub multi-port adapter. That's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.